So we also have some more good news here, but I want you to tread cautiously here, and that's why I was kind of conflicted on doing the story in the first place. Now, there's a story out because there's a new poll out on Ed Markey's race. Now, Ed Markey is a progressive in the Senate. He is a sponsor of the Green New Deal, and he's being challenged by centrist loser Joe Kennedy III. Okay, so he is related to the Kennedy family. It's the only reason why he really has any place here. But he left his House seat to go up and challenge Ed Markey, which is a pretty big risk to take. So they've been in a pretty heated race that has been showing really closely. But the good news is that according to a UMass Amherst poll that was released, he's actually leading by double digits. So this article reads, Markey leads Kennedy among Democratic and Democratic-leaning voters, 51% to 36% in the poll, with 12% undecided. When Democratic-leaning voters are removed from the sample, Markey expands his lead to 50% to 32%, but the percentage of undecideds also increases to 17%. Since the poll's results were considerably narrower in February, when Markey led Kennedy only 43 to 40%. Markey still led slightly, but the margin separating the two was the same without leaners, 39% to 36%. Asked which candidate they trusted to handle 9 issues, respondents named Markey for all but one. There's a plurality of voters trusted him most to handle the economy, healthcare, taxes, education, climate change, President Trump, transportation, and the coronavirus pandemic. Race relations are the only issue where Kennedy leads 39 to 37%. So, this poll has a 5.9 margin of error for all registered voters, 7-point margin of error for likely primary voters. So that's obviously a pretty massive margin of error. So this is good news that the poll numbers show this. But what I want you to understand is, do not take this lightly. Do not, let up. Make sure to, continue to try to support Ed Markey in his race. You can donate to his campaign. If you live in the area, you can try to do some things for his campaign, although I know it's difficult right now during COVID. But this is an extremely important seat that we hold because there's only 100 Senate seats. It's pretty difficult to pick up any Senate seats, period. That's why we focus on House races. But not only that, him losing will be a big deal, and we, hopefully we'll have a progressive pick up his House seat maybe, and we get to retain Ed Markey in the Senate. AOC has been cutting ads for Ed Markey as well in this race. So this poll number is really, really solid, but the margin of error is pretty high in this poll, and in worst case scenario with the margin of error, it could be like a 2 to 3 point swing. That's all that's needed to win or lose this election. So don't let up, keep going, and that's kind of why I was a bit conflicted to report on this story in the first place. But hey, looks like some good news. We could really use this seat, this win to retain this seat. So pretty important here.